WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Last week we were saluting our veterans. And if you're a veteran, especially if you're a young veteran, and you know you've served your country, and now you're looking for a good job, but you know you need to get an education, there is some really good information out there regarding the higher education opportunities here in Marion County. Mike Fallon is in the studio from Webster University, and Mike has, of course, a panel of other experts from different educational facilities here in town. And I think you're focusing on. I didn't even ask you, Mike, but I think in my notes say we're talking about Veterans Day. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a good week. And we didn't like that news from Friday out of France, but
I know.
The world is crazy, huh?
It's a crazy place.
Thank goodness for our veterans,
we have military,
Yeah.
that are protecting us.
Yeah.
And that's what today's show is about. It's about military, how friendly our schools are, options for them, and accessibility, which is really key.
And is it something that they're not so sure of? When they come back, are they like at a loss for, gosh, where do I go now?
I think many of them realize some of the benefits, but they don't really understand where to go and how to use them. And hopefully today we'll be able to help clear that up a little bit.
And I'm guessing you've seen this firsthand. You've seen the veteran come in and like eyes wide open, like, you're kidding. I have that. I can do this.
Well, they're like, I have benefits. I want to get started. What do I do? And then we just get them in the right direction.
Okay,
Make sure
okay.
they go through the correct channels to use their benefits. And there are expirations to benefits, which I think someone will talk about. There are different types of benefits that they get from the military. And all of our schools being military friendly can help them use those benefits.
Now, let's say a veteran went across the street to the College of Central Florida, just because that's the only school they physically know about, which is true in a lot of cases. Okay.
Sure.
So they go over there and they don't really have what they need. Will they be directed to one of the other schools?
They will. And I'm not sure if Gene or Jean want to touch on that or not. Yeah,
We should do introductions.
we'll do the introductions because
Clarify
it'll.
your question a little bit. You're talking about the program. We don't have the program that they want.
Well, yeah, and I'm not trying to pick on that school. I'm just
that's
saying that's
okay.
the most visible school, I think, for a veteran. So let's say he goes over there or she goes over there, says, this is what I want to do with my life.
Right.
Do you have a program for me? I mean, do you say, gosh, we don't, but Webster has one, or does that happen?
Absolutely, just like we would with any student who came in talking about a specific program they want to pursue. Oftentimes, College of Central Florida is a great place for them to get started, get those basic courses under their belt, and then transfer on to the next level to finish their program of study. But we would treat the veteran with as much care and kindness and concern as we would any student in guiding them to the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Mike, I jumped the gun. We didn't get the introductions out there.
That's fine, sure. My name is Mike Fallon with Webster University.
I'm Greg Sanko with St. Leo University.
Uh-huh.
I'm Crystal Flynn with University of Central Florida Ocala campus.
Gene Kirkland with College of Central Florida.
And Jean Imes with College of Central Florida.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here today. So last week, Veterans Day week, was there anything that did you guys have Veterans Day events at your schools?
I think we all do. We all
Yeah.
have a variety of events. Most of our events are more focused on our main campus and in the city of Orlando because that's where our main campus is located. But we all do, and it's also a holiday for state schools as well. So veterans had that day off if they were students, so there's that. But we all have different activities we do. We celebrate veterans the entire month of November at UCF, and there's lots of different workshops and things that go on at the regional sites like the UCF Ocala campus as well as on main campus. But CF, there are events as well.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, we had, what was it, an open house? Is that what we called it? Veterans just, came in. We have a lounge for them that's pretty much just their lounge. They were free to come in there and hang out all day and pretty much do whatever they wanted.
Did the training that they had in the military, does it necessarily have to apply, or are there credits already assigned to them because of their service?
I believe they can get some credit for some of their work in the military. That's more on the counseling side of things.
Depends on the major they would be pursuing.
Yeah, it really would.
So potentially if someone was an MP and they're going a criminal justice program or a stacked program that's similar to that, there could potentially be some experience that might correlate into credits or of value within the program.
That actually brings up a good point as far as some of the documentation that's needed. In order to see if those credits do carry over, one of the things that the VA requires a school to have on file from the veteran are their military transcripts. If you're basically, it's free to obtain these if you're in any branch but the Air Force. The Coast Guard, Army, Navy, and the Marines, they can go to a website that's called a JST, Joint Services Transcript, and then they can just have those automatically sent to whatever location of the school that they're going to or the school's main campus. The Air Force, they actually have their own community college, so and the website is far too long to quote over the air. But if you just did a search for the Community College of the Air Force online, then the student can easily go to that website and obtain transcripts from there as well. But yeah, that is one thing I wanted to reinforce, because I've seen some resistance from some veteran students in the past where they're not sure why we're asking for those, and prior schools didn't ask me for this, why do you have to have it? Well, those prior schools probably weren't in compliance. Those do have to be on file, because if we were ever to get audited, the VA is going to wonder where those things are at.
I gotcha, right.
So they basically want to make sure, too, that they're not paying double duty. Like if a student had, let's say they were in the Navy and had a human resources class there, and then they're taking it again in in college.
Right.
They don't want to pay for it twice.
On the veteran show that we do on Thursdays, there was a story once about a homeless vet, and this was before the Sonic restaurant was open. It was just wooded area. And so there was a guy living in a tent in the wooded area, and he used to go over to the Crystal restaurant and get something. So the people who worked over there knew about him. So they contacted Vets Helping Vets. Vets Helping Vets went to help him. He turned out he had been a truck driver, and something snapped, I guess from PTSD, and he ended up being homeless. Okay. Now, I'm guessing, and I met him. He was a smart guy. So I'm guessing somebody like that, he had been I think an Iraqi veteran. He wasn't that old, really. And so, well, I could be wrong about that, but the point is, he had a lot on the ball, and maybe truck driving was something he loved doing, and maybe he would have wanted to do something else. So if he had gone, let's say, to the VA to say, is there any way I can take my life and make it something better out of it, would they have had the resources to direct them to you? Yeah?
They have benefits coordinators, and they have rehab coordinators and a variety of support. I actually go with my father regularly, and I'm there, and I'm kind of seeing all the different offices and buildings. And I'm
really?
with him to the VA. He's an Army vet. For over 25 years. So yes, they do have a variety of resources that are there, but sometimes it can be a little difficult to find the right place. So what's great about the different universities is when they connect with us, we can also kind of help them connect those dots a little bit as well. If they weren't quite sure where they started and they come to us before they've maybe spoken to someone else, we can get them connected. All of the different universities and the college have staff on site to support veterans in their particular needs, because they are very particular. They're very different than a student who hasn't served or isn't currently serving. So we want to make sure that we provide those kinds of services and access and support. Support is the very critical component of what we all do. So if a student came to us, or a potential student, and was interested in continuing education or starting for the first time, part of that package is we would make sure, every individual site, we would make sure if we recognize that that student needed some additional support, if they were having some trouble, things didn't seem right, we all have different mechanisms in place where we can get that student connected to the right kind of support, so they can have that emotional support if they need it, as well as the academic. But like Jean was saying about the lounge, that's a great place where veterans can come together. We have a similar site on our main campus called VARC, Veterans Access Resource Center, and it's specifically focused for vets. They can go in, they can be with folks that are other veterans that have had similar experiences, and I think that camaraderie is a great level of support.
We are up to the point where we take a break, and the phone lines are ringing. So after the break, if you are okay with taking phone calls, we'll take some of those calls. We'll take a little break. We'll be right back. This is Higher Education Happenings. We're talking about the higher education opportunities for veterans. We'll return, talk about it more. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident.
Intervals of clouds and sun today with a shower in spots along the coast, the high 81 to 85. And tonight will turn out mainly clear with lows ranging from the mid-60s inland to about 73 along the coast. Tomorrow, times of clouds and sun, just a chance of a shower along the coast, high 82 to 86. On Wednesday, times of clouds and sun with a shower or two around, high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Looking to put your money to work? Florida Credit Union has 3 CD specials: 12 months for 1.05% APR, 24 months 1.50% APR, and 36 months 1.75% APR, each with a $10,000 minimum. APY, federally insured by the NCUA. APY equals annual percentage yield. These rates effective through November 30th, subject to change at any time. Visit one of Florida Credit Union's convenient locations today or their website at flcu.org.
Good credits, bad credits, it's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services. When your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements, from damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
All right, 13 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Higher Education Happenings is the program you're listening to. Mike Fallon is, I guess, the chairperson here, and we're talking about educational opportunities for veterans. So let's take a phone call. Good morning. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Another agency to help veterans here in Marion County is the Marion County Veteran Service Agency, which is directly in front of the Veterans Park on Silver Springs Boulevard.
Okay.
I just want to pass that along.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Bye.
So we've been talking about vets going to school. Do you have students who are in school who then join the military? And is there any way that you help them, or maybe they join and then come back? Does that happen?
Well, we all have a lot of portable programs, especially online programs. So if they were completing a major, a program that's available online, their studies could transition, and a lot of the programs they could potentially stop and then start again. Their admission status would be something they would work with our registrar's office or the registrar's office at any of the schools to maintain their student status. But they certainly could. But the great thing, we all have online programs, so that's also a great benefit.
Does the age matter? Could it be an older vet?
Doesn't matter to us.
Doesn't matter as long as they have currently available benefits.
Right.
Right. There is an expiration date. These are finite. Like, for instance, for the Montgomery GI Bill, which is also known as Chapter 30, they have 10 years from the point of discharge to use that.
Okay.
Right.
And on the post 9/11 GI Bill, they have 15 years from the time they leave the service.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, Greg, can you speak to, are some benefits transferable? So if the veteran doesn't want to use them, can they transfer them to someone else?
Yes, actually, the only one they can do that with is the post 9/11 GI Bill. They can transfer that to immediate family, such as a spouse or children.
So that's a great benefit. So say if they have a career when they come out of the military and they don't want to go back to school, they don't need to for whatever reason, they can pass those benefits along to a child or a spouse, and now you have another person that can access those and take advantage.
Does the spouse have, can the spouse take advantage without the vet actually giving up his or her benefits?
Can't use them together.
Can't use them together.
Right, you can't use them together. There is a benefit called Chapter 35, which is Dependents Education Assistance, and that is something where the veteran can use their own benefit, and this is specifically for somebody like the child or the spouse. They can use that separate. So it's not quite as good. They get a monthly stipend. It's not quite as good as like the post 9/11 GI Bill itself, but again, it is another resource.
So give me a feel of what it's like, the different types of vets. I'm going to say the 2-year vet versus the 20-year, the career vet, and they both of them come to you. I'm guessing the 2-year vet is probably might transition a little bit easier. Somebody who's been in the service for 20 years, it might be a hard transition.
Well, I don't know that we probably all see more of veterans that have served a shorter period of time. I myself, that's predominantly who I see, but we could all certainly assist someone who comes out of the military after a 20 or 25-year career and decides they want to become an English teacher and they want to go back to school for something like that.
So they end up working for you?
Potentially, absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the nice things generally more for the younger veterans for the veterans who are just recently out of the service, the state schools offer a tuition waiver for out-of-state fees. So if you get out of the military, you come to Florida, you've been here 3 months, you don't meet the traditional in-state resident requirements. State legislature has given us the ability to waive the out-of-state portion of their tuition. So it makes it much more affordable for those veterans who've recently relocated to the state of Florida.
And if you're not in the state of Florida, you can also still attend the school that you want. I'm also an advisor, so I currently have a student who's serving and is or just finished serving, I think, and she's in North Carolina. So she's completing one of our online programs. So I never actually see her. We Skype and we talk over the phone, but she gets all of the support from University of Central Florida and our Ocala campus as if she was right here in Marion County walking into our office.
So what is typical? Do they enter just looking for more education, or do they have an end goal in mind? Do they say, I want to be a dentist, I want to be a teacher? Do they have that? How does it typically happen? What is the portrait, if you will?
I think so. At least, and probably safe to say most of our experiences where they come in and they have a general idea of a program they want to narrow it down to. For some of these, like, you can't actually use the benefit unless you have you're enrolled in a degree-seeking program.
Okay.
For instance, again, to refer back to the post 9/11 GI Bill, you can't say, well, hey, I don't know what I want to do, but I just want to go to school and use my benefit. The government will not pay in that case. They want to make sure you're actually applying your benefit to a chosen subject.
So does a person who's already gone through higher education and then goes on to the military, do they have a better chance of having a higher rank in the military? That person, or
Ooh. I don't know. Come into that. So if you do go in certain branches, depending on how you go in, if you already have a degree, it does change things. Yes, it could. None of us are really experts in that area, though.
So the Air Force has a community college. Where is the community college for the Air Force?
I believe it's in Colorado.
Oh, it's in Colorado. Oh, it's one for the whole country.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, yeah, even though you may have never attended that specific institution per se, but as long as you were in the Air Force, you do have transcripts through the Air Force, and that's the body that you would go through.
That's interesting. And the combat vets have, are they different than the non-combat vets? I know there are certain programs that specify that.
Yes, to some extent, like on post 9/11, that benefit can pay up to 100% of your tuition. It all depends on your active duty time. So obviously, if you're in combat, that's obviously active duty. If you have a total of 36 months active duty, the Department of Defense will pay 100% of your tuition and fees.
But as far as access to us, it's every veteran is going to be offered the same support and services.
Right.
We'll exhaust every effort to provide, every mechanism we can to assist that veteran in completing whatever their education goal is.
Are they surprised sometimes with the different programs you offer? Do they sit with you sometimes and say, wow, I never thought of that. That sounds like something I would like to do. Yeah?
Absolutely. Because I think it is it's a culture shift, an environment shift for them.
Yeah, sure.
From where they've been and what they've been focused on to coming back and now figuring out what am I doing with the next part of my life.
One of the things I'd like to remind them is that they can stack their benefits. You can receive traditional financial aid in addition to their veterans' benefits. And sometimes they're a little confused about that, thinking, well, I'm getting VA benefits, not realizing that those actually can be combined.
I'm guessing they contribute to the campus too. If you have no veterans at all in the student population, there might not be somebody there to give them an actual sense of what the world events are. Somebody who's been in them, though, might, just having that one person to maybe talk every now and then or I mean, even if it's just informal, like in the lounge you're talking about.
Providing a new perspective for students who've never left the tiny town where they live, or
Yeah.
that can be a huge asset.
Sure. And especially, I mean, the news is filled with military things.
Right.
And so to kind of understand it, maybe we won't understand the political angle because we tend to do that in the media. We slant things. But from their perspective, they saw it firsthand. So
Right.
they would have a better... So what do we do now? Do we give the listeners the different information so that they can look into some of the programs you're talking about?
I think so. I think we can give our websites and remind them that benefits have an expiration date. Make sure that they inquire, use those benefits. Many benefits also include some type of living stipend as well, which is something that's a huge benefit for those that can use them. So I'll give Webster University's address, webster.edu/Ocala.
St. Leo is www.stleo.edu.
You can find the University of Central Florida website at ucf.edu, and our Ocala campus is ucfocala.com.
College of Central Florida is cf.edu.
It's easy enough, right? Well, and Gene, I don't think I've met you before. I think I've met everybody else so far. So nice to see you. Nice to. Any of you vets? No, no vets in the room. Okay. Well, thank you for what you do for our community. Thank you for coming in here to talk about this. If somebody calls here during the course of the week, of course we can direct them to you, Mike.
Absolutely. We'll direct them to the appropriate
yes.
institution.
Yes.
Love to have them.
We look forward to speaking with them.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you for coming in here.
Thanks.
We will take a little break, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Intervals of clouds and sun today with a shower in spots along the coast, the high 81 to 85. And tonight will turn out mainly clear with lows ranging from the mid-60s inland to about 73 along the coast. Tomorrow, times of clouds and sun, just a chance of a shower along the coast, high 82 to 86. On Wednesday, times of clouds and sun with a shower or two around, high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Ocala Aviation now has opportunities for flight instructors.
Wait, hold on. Brad, is this correct? You're looking for instructors, not students?
Actually,